Hi, everybody.
Hello there.
I'm Jerry.
And I'm Linda.
We're the Newcomers. We're retired folks down in Florida, and we have a show that comes to you every week, and we talk to you about our life here, tips and tricks for retirees, and hopefully we have a little fun along the way. Now, we're in a place called The Villages. It's the world's largest retirement community.
It's huge. About 155,000 residents and growing.
That's right. We're about an hour north of Orlando, in case you're wondering. We've got a really good show for you today.
When are those snowbirds going to leave?
A viewer says The Villages is less desirable.
Why are homes in other neighborhoods near the villages cheaper?
And we have a new Ask Amy for you, a bubble wrap.
Hi, Jerryand Linda. On this week's Bubble Wrap, I'm going to show you where this mess came from, and it could be the source of smells in your bathroom.
And lots more. Hit it, Wally.
Send us your questions, we've got your answers. Jerry and Linda's Mailbag Monday.
It was a fun week for us. We got to entertain a couple of our grandchildren.
We did. Two of them, and they were 1-year-old and 3-year-old, and boy, we were busy.
They are so great, and we loved seeing them. They live up in Jacksonville, so they're not too far away, about 2 hours and 45 minutes, but we don't get to see them that often. And
No.
they just loved the golf cart rides, and I was thrilled with that. We logged a lot of miles on that golf cart. I buckle them in, don't worry.
He does. And then 1-year-old, he's obsessed with the golf cart, and he'd be saying, golf cart ride, golf cart ride. It was just all the time. It was a lot of fun.
In fact, they left yesterday, and I got on Amazon, and I ordered him a little toy golf cart, and it's supposed to get there today. I hope he loves it.
One little story is he was down at the squares, and he loves them so much, he gets out of ours, and he tries to get in everybody else's. It was really cute.
And we had an Easter egg hunt. Mm-hmm. Linda's big on Easter. She loves to hide those eggs and get those treats and buy that candy.
Yeah, I do. I think.
Am I getting anything for Easter?
Oh, sorry.
We have 7 grandkids, so she's been busy. But it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And you read them books, and we played games.
We had a great time. Did a lot of Legos. We built things. Oh my gosh, I was tired. I took a little nap yesterday.
Yeah. And remember that big old cactus in the backyard?
Oh.
We love that cactus. We started it from a little paddle. That's what we call them, right?
Yeah.
But they get these little flowers on them that have 1,000,000 stickers, and they're almost invisible, and you get them, and you suffer. So we sent it away to the cactus land.
Yeah, we went out one day this weekend, last weekend, and we tried to pick up some of the little pieces that fell on the ground. And so I asked my son to put on gloves, and he did. I said, "You're going to get a little sticky." He goes, "Oh, this will be fine. I'll be fine." Oh my gosh, he took off the gloves, and he had 20 little pieces in every one of his fingers. And I'm going, "Oh no!"
It's infuriating.
Yeah.
And our buddies in the Villages Deadhead Club, they're so charitable, and they always pick things to help others. And here they are donating to the food pantry in Wildwood. And so great guys.
Wonderful.
Now, Linda, she looks a little stressed out this morning. She just got back. She ran an errand, and she had a little driving mishap. What happened?
I actually am still shaking from it. It just happened about 15 minutes ago. I was coming out of Eisenhower, and there was traffic backed up to get out of Eisenhower going on to Buena Vista. And there's these golf carts, and there is a definite stop sign for both of those golf carts on both sides to cross to let the Eisenhower people in and out. And it was a long traffic because Buena Vista was so busy. I backed up just a little to let some carts through. I thought, well, they're going to sit there forever. And just as I told this guy to go, a car whipped into Eisenhower and didn't see the little golf cart coming in front of me. And I'm, screaming, "Stop!" And he quickly went beside me, and he almost got killed. And I am shaking because I'm sure he is shaking. It was awful. It was awful.
What do we always tell you guys? Sorry, Pat Dennis, I said guys. You don't pause a car and motion a golf cart across. That's not the way it's done.
Yeah.
And in this case, almost got a golf cart crushed.
I'm never going to do that again.
Now,
I'm
technically,
never
it wouldn't have
pass-
been her fault. She was in a parking lot and motioned
I was in
them
a
on.
parking lot.
But it's not a good practice. So if you're in the car go ahead up to the stop sign. Even if golf carts are waiting, let them wait until it's completely clear before they go.
Yeah, I'm shaking. I almost killed somebody.
And one other thing I wanted to say about when the grandchildren were here. We were up on Buena Vista. We were on Buena Vista, and we went right near where you were, the Eisenhower Rec Center.
Yeah.
There's a firehouse. These kids love fire trucks. I mean, what kid doesn't, right?
Yeah.
And I said, we're going to show you a fire truck. And we drove by, and it's empty. There's no fire truck. So we're driving down, and I see it up in the distance. It's coming toward us. So I pulled the cart over, and we're on the side of the road in the grass. We're safely. And here comes the fire truck. And the guys in the fire truck waved at the children, and they went on by. And I said, okay, let's turn around. We'll go back to the fire department. And we did. And when we got there, they had just pulled into the bay, and they were facing us in the truck, and they saw us pull in. And they turned on the lights for the kids, and they all waved, and they got down, and they motioned the kids over, and we got these pictures. And I just wanted to give a shout out to those great firemen up at Station 45. They didn't have to do that. That was really, really nice.
Yeah, it was great.
Another thing, on Wednesday night, you watch our live shows. We appreciate that. We had a good show on Wednesday night. We had one of the largest viewerships ever.
did.
And we really enjoyed that. But we talked about one-bedroom homes and mortgages and things like that. And we're going to talk more about that in the show today. But I wasn't aware there were one-bedroom homes for sale in the villages. Who knew? And people said, yeah, there are. So I looked it up, and there are actually 9 homes in the villages listing service. So that means there may even be more if you count the multiple list service. And so where are they? Most of them were all pre-owned homes. And most of them were up north, but there was one in Monarch Grove and another one, where was that? St. John's.
Yeah.
They're around 800 square feet. There's some in the 7s and some just up to 900. And they're small, but they began at $199,000, and there were some up to $255,000.
Yeah.
So there are one-bedroom, one-bath homes here, and they are homes. They're not condos. They're not apartments.
Yeah.
One-bedroom homes. I didn't know.
I didn't know either, and I'm thinking, okay, if you have a one-bedroom home, where do you put your guests? Well, you'll have to have a pull-out couch, maybe, or something
Heck
like
with the
that.
guests.
Heck, no guests for
No
us.
guests allowed.
But that, if you don't have guests and you're all by yourself, how wonderful is that?
Yeah, and so we have people wondering how cheap can they come down here? Well, if it's just a couple, maybe you can get by in a one-bed, one-bath home, and we got them. This is from Bert. Bert sent in a letter, and he said, Jerry, you're such a penny pincher. Why don't you do your own yard work? And Bert says, I do my own yard work. Well, good for you, Bert. Bert, I've said before, and if you're a longtime viewer, which you're obviously not, we don't really have the room to store a lawnmower, a weed eater, a blower, gasoline, oil, etc.
Yeah.
So we hired out, and they've got it down to a science here. These lots are so small, and they're so close together that if you get the right guy, you can get it done for $60 a month.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to put up with that trouble for $60 a month.
Yeah.
Plus, in the summertime, it is hot.
It's basically hot.
And they're fast. As a matter of fact, look at this guy. That guy, I didn't really catch him when he was really going, but he's fast. And look, he's even blowing while he's mowing. Mow and blow, baby. Get out of here. Get that $60.
That should be a new name for a company. Mow and blow.
Mow and blow. That's why I don't do my own yard work.
Yeah. This next question is from Jeremy Lyles. Great show. I really enjoy your perspective on life in the villages. Question, when do the snowbirds come down, and when do they normally leave?
Oh, we thought they'd never leave. I'm kidding. We love the
are
snowbirds.
kidding. We
We
do.
have great friends that are snowbirds. We wish they stayed the whole time.
Yeah.
They pay their taxes, they pay their amenity fee all year long, even though they're not here.
Yeah.
But when do they leave? That's what you wanted to know, because you think it's crowded. We have friends that are leaving on May 10th.
Yeah.
We have some others that took off this week already.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will go on big vacations or big trips in the summer. And that usually starts when it starts getting hot.
Yeah.
And it's starting to get warm, but it's beautiful out here right now. It's so beautiful. But the snowbirds generally leave the first part of May, and they'll come back around the end of September
That's right.
in that neighborhood. But we don't mind. We like the Snowbirds.
Yeah, we do. We love
And
it.
it's not a derogatory term as far as we're concerned. And all the people we know, they don't consider that a derogatory term. You could say seasonal.
Right.
Here's one that kind of hits home with me. I know there's lots of ways to stay fit in the villages. I don't like the regular stuff like running or weightlifting. What else is there? And by the way, we never spell check your letters, so don't worry about that. We were at Sawgrass, and there was this gigantic gathering of people. What were they doing?
They were doing kickboxing.
Kickboxing. It was the biggest group I've ever seen.
It was wonderful.
Yeah, it was neat. And they were all getting into it. Some people were great, some people not so great, but it doesn't matter down here.
No, it doesn't.
You do it. So there are things like that. Well, I've seen Tai Chi up at Sumter Landing. They do Tai Chi in the mornings up there.
Yeah.
Cardio drumming you get a round ball and 2 drumsticks.
Yeah.
Knock yourself out.
Yeah.
You know.
They do yoga on the squares. They do all kinds of things on the squares. And you can definitely go to all the rec centers, and there's so many clubs.
That's right.
And most of the things, the exercises, are to music, which makes it so much more fun.
I mean, our bodies at this stage, we can't take running and weightlifting.
No.
So there's a lot of things to do. Come down and just give it a try, see what you think.
Along with recreation in the villages, there is a definite place that I want to check out, and maybe you will too if you're in the villages. If you go to the rec centers and you're out by the pickleball courts or the tennis courts or the bocce area, inside the shed or around the shed is a courtesy phone. Now that courtesy phone is for any of the villagers that find out, okay, someone's having an episode, they need medical assistance right away. You can call, open that little box up, and you can call 911, and they'll direct you what to do and where to go. And that's they have the phone numbers in there where to call for even community watch if you need, or 911 for real assistance.
Could you order pizza?
Yeah, I don't think you can order
No,
pizza.
you can't order
No
pizza.
pizza.
We don't need it.
But anyway, that's nice to know. So when you go to the rec center and you go to those outdoor buildings, look for the phone.
Mystery odors in your bathroom are easy to solve. It's a quick task with supplies that you already have on hand. On this week's Bubble Wrap, Peter Bernard shows you how to make those foul smells vanish.
Today on Bubble Wrap, I'm sitting in my shower, but it's for a good reason. I'm going to show you the source of smells that you might smell in your bathroom. Now, I've tackled the bathroom sinks in the past, but this time we're going to tackle smells in your shower drain.
After a while, the smell of soap scum, hair, and shampoo residue can make your shower drain smell, well, just really bad. Using a small Phillips screwdriver, unscrew the 2 screws on either side of the main drain. Take care not to drop them down the drain, but if you do, it's not a big deal. They are small enough to be pushed into the sewer. Next, use the end of the screwdriver to loosen the hair that is caked around the rim. Now grab some dishwashing spray and coat the exposed metal. You may want to let it sit for a minute or 2 to work into the gunk. Now take an old toothbrush and work around the edges to loosen the gunk and get the dirt off. You may have to go around this a couple of times. Now take a paper towel and aggressively scour the areas you can reach. You can also clean the top couple of inches of the drain pipe too. Just don't drop the paper towel down the drain. Now get one of those wire drain cleaners with a long reach. Fish it down the drain and move it around. Any hair you bring up should be put in the trash. If you have any baking soda and vinegar around the house, now would be a good time to pour a little down the drain and let it bubble. That's it. Fasten the 2 screws on either side of the drain. Do them separately, and again, be careful not to drop them down the drain line.
Recapping the tools you need: a Phillips screwdriver, Dawn power wash, and one of those wire things that you can go down and get rid of some of the extra hair. I'm Peter Bernard, and that's this week's Bubble Wrap.
Thank you, Peter. And he also tells us that any soap or detergent will do the job. That wire drain cleaning tool is available at Lowe's and lots of other places too. And keep track of those small screws. You don't want to lose those.
It's time for Pet of the Week.
Hi, Jerryand Linda. This is Hank and Scarlett. As you can see, they're living a really rough life. They are in their natural habitat, which is lounging on the couch. They also enjoy such activities as sleeping on the couch, eating on the floor, eating on the couch, sleeping on the floor, and lounging on the floor. with an occasional shake, and wagging their tails pretty much all the time. They already live down in Middleton and can't wait for a few years when they can live in the villages. And I guess they will see you when they get there.
Ah, those old lazy basset hounds, what a life. Now that was a good pet of the week. There wasn't a whole lot to it, but Tiffany did a great job. That's how you do it. You have your phone in landscape, get down close and personal. Hopefully your dogs will be a little more energetic, but those dogs are retired. They're living the good life. And send us those pets of the week.
I remember a neighbor back in childhood, they had a basset hound down the street, and we lived on a cul-de-sac, and that basset hound would walk down the street, and its ears almost touch the ground, and it would whoa, whoa, this loud howl.
Whoa, whoa. This next comment is from Virginia. Virginia says, I think as time goes by, the villages is becoming much less desirable. I think it had been overdeveloped, resulting in overcrowding and terrible traffic. Then there's the crime. I watch the village's news and it's getting worse, along with the problems of alcohol and drugs. So many of the problems are why the residents moved away from their previous homes. Here in Tennessee, we have a huge influx of people, many from the West Coast, but also a ton from Florida, all with the same complaints of traffic and overcrowding. Virginia, you don't live here. Now, I'm not criticizing the Village's News. I think it's a worthy publication and you can watch it. But they tend to focus on the outrageous or things that they know will perk people's interest, like drugs and traffic stops and domestic violence and stuff like that. This is the safest place you could ever live, in my opinion. It's my opinion. Mm-hmm. A lot of the drugs that you mentioned, those are I would say that 80% of the time, those aren't villagers. Those are people that live in Wildwood, Lady Lake, Summerfield, Leesburg. You know, all the roads go through the villages to connect these places. And many people get arrested that are just passing through, but it still shows up as arrested in the villages. Mm-hmm. So it's not always a villager. We think it's a great place to live. Yeah. And you do what so many people do. You pass judgment from hundreds of miles away. And that's not the way to do anything. You know, if you really want to see what it's like, come down here instead of, writing a comment like that. Find out first.
Yeah. Here's a comment. I have noticed time and time again that homes in surrounding 55-plus communities that are extremely close to the villages, but not actually part of it, sell for far less than homes in the villages. Trying to compare apples to apples as much as possible in regard to square footage, number of bedrooms and bathrooms, lots with or without a view, and type of view, size of the lot, etc. Again and again, homes right outside the villages are listed for $100,000 less than comparable homes in the villages.
Okay. Well, that probably is true. They are less, although I've noticed that the homes in the villages are coming down in price right now. Mm-hmm. It's just typical of the whole economic situation. But this is probably somebody that lives far away comparing what they see online. If you haven't been to the villages, you probably don't know there are 100 pools that you can go to anytime you like up till dark. Mm-hmm. There are rec centers with pool tables and ping pong tables and pickleball courts and swimming pools. Mm-hmm. You know, so much to do. How many rec centers are there? There's 100, aren't there?
Probably 80. Well, yes, I bet so. And there's also, with the rec centers, there's organized clubs. There's organized activities that you can go to. If you get online and look on districtgov.org, you're going to find over almost 4,000 now clubs in the villages that you can participate in.
That's right.
From music to sports to your state club, every kind of club you can join.
But we hear comments like that. In fact, the best thing I can tell you is we have people that we know, multiple people that have moved away from the villages and then moved back. You know, moved away to places like you're mentioning and then moved back because we have such a social life here. Yeah. You know, there are four places in counting where you can get music every single night and first-rate, top-quality music. Mm-hmm. We have several performing arts venues. You know, we have these golf cart trails that are just amazing,
Yeah.
with tunnels to get you onto the busy roads. No place else has that we know of.
No.
So you can get a home maybe a little cheaper. I don't know if it'll be any better. You said it's better. But hey, come and check out the villages. I think you'll be blown away like we were. We were not unhappy in Indiana, but when we came here and saw this place, it blew us away.
We didn't know how much happier we can get.
That's right. We talked about mortgages. Somebody wrote in last week and said, could you come here with a mortgage? They were afraid they wouldn't have enough money. They're on a fixed income. And so we did some investigating, and we threw that question out on Wednesday night. And we found that about half of the viewers had mortgages. Now, a lot of them got that mortgage when the rate was 2.5% to 3%. So that was really good several years ago. Right now, the rate is 6.8%. So you're going to have to pay more for that money to buy your new home if you have a mortgage. If you put 10% down on a $400,000 home, that would be $40,000. Mm-hmm. You're borrowing $360,000 for 30 years. I don't think we have 30 years left, do we? You might.
I might.
But if you borrow $360K at that 6.8 for 30 years, you're going to pay $3,647 a month. Now, the person that wrote in the other day wanted to know if they could live here on $4,000 a month. I don't think so. Not if your mortgage is $3,647 a month. And that doesn't include your bond, your property tax, and a lot of other incidentals. So that's just a typical. I'm not a finance guy. Don't ever make any big decisions based upon what I say, and especially not what she says.
Oh, I don't know anything about finances.
Talk to somebody professional. Talk to a professional.
That's right.
And make your own decision.
Yeah.
That's what we think.
It's time for Out and About.
Today's Out and About is done by some great friends of ours. They went to that rose plantation, and it's a beautiful place. Let's see what they have to say.
Our out and about was to the Rose Plantation in Fruitland Park. We had reservations. We were greeted by the owner, very accommodating. He gave us a quick tour and a brief history lesson on the building and the restaurant. We looked over the menu, lots to pick from, tough decisions. Beautiful place. Kim and I each had the apple chicken, green beans, mashed potatoes. Mary and Mike both had the salmon with broccolini and some kind of a sweet potato. The bill came to $160 plus tip. Kind of spendy, but it's the kind of place you go on a special occasion with special people. We'd go back again. Loved it.
Well, that's the way you do it right there.
Yeah.
That was so well done. Makes me look bad. And it comes out so good. So you can do it too. If you go to a restaurant and you have a great time, or you think you're going to have a great time, start filming the exterior, the interior, the whole shebang. Show us the bill at the end. That was an A1 super duper job. Thank you so much.
It's time for Word Jumble.
The word jumble. Last week we said it was a great place to find your new best friend. Animal shelter.
Yeah.
Animal shelter. And today, a respectful name for an old timer. Now remember, if you know the answer or you figure it out, don't put it in the comments. Just let us know that you know without showing us that you know.
Hey Jerry and Linda, I wanted to talk today about the number one mistake we see happens when people become incapacitated, and it's the lack of planning. So we encourage everyone over the age of 18 to have a plan in the event of incapacity. Obviously we don't know if that's going to happen, but we need to make sure that we're covered. And by doing that, you're creating a durable power of attorney. That's the document that allows you to name someone to make your financial decisions. And please trust the person you put in that position, because they can do everything you can do for yourself, with a few exceptions. So that power of attorney is effective from the time you sign it until you die. We also want you to do a healthcare surrogate. And that's the person making your medical decisions, deciding medication, doctors, are we going to have home health, which assisted living, or memory care. So please make sure that you're planning ahead of time for this potential issue of becoming incapacitated. If you do not, then that's going to be a guardianship, which is very expensive and time consuming. So please, please plan.
Thank you, Amy. That is great advice. You know, planning for the end, it's not pleasant. It's not pleasant to get ready to go to the great beyond, but it's something we all need to do. And I don't think that you could go wrong by contacting Amy to help those plans.
That's right. Well, in the entertainment world in the villages is always a fun thing to talk about, because there's always something going on in all the venues. We've got the Sharon, the Savannah Center, the Tierra del Sol, and you also have live music in many of the restaurants and the country clubs. In the Sharon, coming up on May 2nd is Tap Into Soul. Solomon J is going to be dancing, and you know, I think he's also the singer in Evolution, say it again.
It's easy for you to say.
No, which great band is
Evolution Motown.
Evolution Motown. So anyway, it's going to be a great evening on May 2nd. Please take part at the Sharon.
Yeah, I went and talked to those guys. We were at an event they performed at the other night, and we had the pleasure to interview them one time.
See you when you get here.
Such great people. And I talked to them the other night, and they performed. They were so good.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Fun. We were dancing in our seats. And at the Savannah Center, coming up on April 21st, Together Again, and that's with Bill Doherty and Fernando Varela. And then April 23rd is Absolute Queen Tribute.
We have such a busy schedule coming up. I want to go see that. I'd like to see both of those.
Yeah.
Fernando Varela, fantastic, and Queen, we love Queen.
Absolutely.
But we've just our next 2 or 3 weeks is just jam-packed.
Busy. Yeah.
And now it's time for Jerryand Linda's shoutouts.
We always want to salute the friends of our channel, and I don't think we had any greater friend than Butch Fernandez.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Butch passed away several weeks ago. And such a great guy. He and his wife Elaine are just the salt of the earth. And we miss him, and we feel a void that he's gone. But his whole neighborhood had a celebration of life, and we attended the other day. And they made us feel so welcome, and what a spread of food. I've never seen anything like it.
It was an amazing day, and I love that. A celebration of life is the way to go. I'm just loving that, because everybody was full of joy. And although we'll miss Butch terribly, and we enjoyed being there for Elaine and her sons and her family, and it was a wonderful day.
Great family with sons in the military, and just a wonderful party. Butch, you may have seen his golf cart. He had a Marine Corps golf cart. It was the red and yellow, and it was one of those extended, great big long golf carts. And what a great family and a great party.
It was great. We'd like to also give a shout out to Shelly Sapp. She sends us some homemade cards, and they are fabulous. Shelly, thank you so much. You always put a smile on our face when we get your cards.
And here you're seeing pictures of some great folks. And don't forget to send those pictures in. You know, we'd love to see pictures of you in front of your house or in front of your neighborhood sign, or doing what you love to do. So please send those in. And don't forget to tune in on Wednesday night. We're going to try, although I told you about that crazy schedule,
Yeah.
we're going to try to fit one in on Wednesday night, and we'll have another exciting show with another prize giveaway. This last prize giveaway was won by Jim Scalise, and it's on the way to you, Jim.
If you liked our video today, please press that like and subscribe button and share it with all your friends, neighbors, relatives, and everyone you know. Until next time.
See you when you get here.